Let's jump right into this. Preseason game number 1, Lakers hosting the Kings tonight. And here was Coach Mike Brown over the weekend talking about this game.
I want to see us compete. We have values that we've laid down and some expectations. So the biggest thing is it's going to be sloppy. It's going to be ugly. We could be up big. We could be down big. I don't know. But no matter what the score is or who's out there, I want to compete on both sides of the ball.
All right, so he wants to compete on both sides of the ball. It's going to be sloppy. It's going to be ugly. I want to ask everybody listening to this program and watching us on YouTube, hello, YouTube world, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. What are you looking for tonight? What are you watching for? 916-339-1140 is the text line. Phone number is 1-800-920-1140. As Kings fans, what are you watching for tonight? It's preseason game number 1. I don't think you go too far with it. But Ramie, what are you looking for tonight?
He's right. It's going to be sloppy and
probably
ugly and not the greatest level of NBA basketball that you've ever seen. But I think one thing that you can kind of tell even in preseason game number 1, Nick, because I don't know about you. I'm sure this team is going to be able to score the basketball. I have very little doubt that this team is going to be able to put the ball in the bucket. I have very few doubts about that. I don't know if they're going to play defense. I didn't see a lot of personnel upgrades defensively. So we're counting a lot on Mike Brown to just tap into the defensive brains of these guys and sort of get the most out of them. And we talked, I think it was Bazemore. We talked with a lot of guys last week. So who I asked what questions and got what answers from is a little bit murky in my memory. But I think it was Ken Bazemore who I asked about defense and the old cliche that defense is defense is effort, that any team can be a good defensive basketball team if they want to be. And he said, no, that's facts. That's 100% true. And I think that in game 1, not that it's a finished product by any means. Anything you'll see out there tonight is a finished product. But I think in game 1 of the preseason, you can look out there and see if these guys give a damn about playing defense. And if we see the want to and the effort on that side of the court. I don't think it's crazy to say we're going to get some idea of whether or not this team is serious about being a better defensive basketball team in game 1 of the preseason.
Especially with a new head coach.
Yep.
It is the first preseason game, but you have a new head coach. You have a very competitive roster that's been set up, I think, by Monte McNair and company. And if you want to get off on the right foot, you're going to play some defense. I agree with you about the defensive commitment, what this team is going to look like on that end of the floor. And I specifically want to watch De'Aaron Fox. I want to see if he's committed to playing defense every single possession or the vast majority of possessions. Nobody doubts that Fox has the tools to be a very good defensive player. He's got the tools. He's got the length. He's got the agility, the quickness, the athleticism. He has the basketball IQ. He can be a good defender, and we've seen him be a good defender. The problem is you see him defend one night, and then the next 2 or 3 games, he's nowhere to be found, or he's very inconsistent. It all begins with your leader. And if Fox wants to be the guy on this team, he wants to be the true 1A, then he has to set the tone defensively. The other thing that I'm looking for right off the bat is Keegan Murray. Yes, he was fantastic in Summer League. Yes, he was playing against a bunch of fellow rookies and guys that are at the end of benches for the most part. I want to see Keegan Murray tonight. I want to see his fit and how he plays alongside Domas if he does start this game, how he plays alongside Barnes. I want to see how he is able to handle maybe being the 3rd or 4th option at times on the floor. I want to see him defensively, Ramie, to go with your point. Who is he going to defend? Can he defend the quicker guys at the NBA level? And can he do that consistently? And where is he playing? Is he playing the 3? Is he playing the 4? Is the Zach Harper thing in the Athletic a couple of weeks ago?
We might see him at the 2 a little bit.
Yeah, was that idea a fakakta idea, or is that going to be something that's actually legitimate? So along with the defense, Keegan Murray is near the top of my list as far as what I'm watching for tonight.
You brought up last week when we talked with Keegan Murray at Media Day, and he said he wasn't as specific about what position he wanted to play. He said he wanted to be a wing. I wonder if he meant that only on the offensive side of the floor, because I got to imagine they're going to ask him to play some down in the paint and protect that rim a little bit on the defensive side of the floor. And you've brought up the concern in the past, Nick, of can he defend athletic wings and guys out away from the basket and stay in front of him with his lateral quickness or lack thereof for the NBA level of play. And you mentioned his fit and who he fits with and who he kind of gels with. I'm kind of fascinated and curious, and this won't be answered tonight, but the questions will start to be answered tonight is who not just with when you talk about Keegan Murray, who fits out there when they're together, who works out, what combinations are going to work out there with all these new faces, with Malik Monk, with Kevin Huerter. We don't know which one of those guys will be starting and who will be the sixth man, and who does Keegan Murray gel with when he's out there. I think a lot of the combos and rotations that Mike Brown is going to be using this season is sort of going to be, we're going to learn about it on the fly at the same time that he is. You don't know how guys fit together and who works out there on the court together until you see it, and they do it.
I thought his feet and his agility, talking about Keegan, looked a little better in the summer league than I anticipated, but I still think he is going to struggle against some of those wings at the NBA level. And the other thing that he struggled with in college was defending bigger guys in the paint. So that's why I find it very interesting to see where he slots in. I think offensively, he can do damage at a number of different positions. It's really defensively, how do they feel about Keegan's ability to defend and switch and do some other things? We'll have to wait and see. One more thing I want to watch for tonight, and I think this is going to be a huge piece of the puzzle this season for this basketball team, is the pace. Mike Brown, when you look at him historically as a head coach, Ramie, he does not have great pace as a head coach offensively. His teams usually do not rank very highly when it comes to pace. And when you look at what the Kings do, they played their best last year when they played with pace. So how is Mike Brown's philosophy going to fit with this roster? And the other question that I have, Ramie, is this the same Mike Brown? Because remember, this was pre-Warriors. Did Mike Brown kind of get awashed with the Warriors magic, and now he's going to actually have his guys push the basketball and show that pace?
I was just going to say, you would hope that Mike Brown, and I think he will. He seems like the type of guy, like a smart dude who will learn from his mistakes and absorb when he's around other people what he thinks might work. He was in Golden State, man, where you talk about pace. Their whole thing is now they play defense, no doubt about it, but let's get up shots in volumes. You know what I mean? Let's get up shots in big numbers to see if we can light up that scoreboard. You got to imagine. And he talked last week about the speed of De'Aaron Fox and him sort of being the point of the arrow and how fast you can play because of how fast De'Aaron Fox is, and him sort of pushing the action. I got to believe that Mike Brown knows he has a team that can move fast, that can get up the court fast, and can put up a lot of points if he lets them put that to use.
It's one of the fascinating parts of the Domas-Fox combination, because Domas, he's not the guy that's gonna run up and down the floor with all sorts of speed. Now
you tell him you just stay on the offense. You just cherry pick, just stay down there,
hang back there,
just hang back there.
We don't like to talk about that in Sacramento, guys.
Yeah. So when you look at Domas, he'll give you the effort, but is his tank going to go empty here? If the pace is too quick for him. So very interesting to kind of watch those things. I want your thoughts. We want your thoughts. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The number is 1-800-920-1140. You can tweet at me at Nick C Radio. Also at Ramie is tweeting. And don't forget, youtube.com, thumbs up button, please. Let's get those likes up there today. And also don't forget to subscribe, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. We'll get to some of your thoughts, what you're watching for tonight as the Kings open up their preseason against the Lakers. Also, Raiders fans,